Welcome to the holiday special. I have a Christmas party with friends in a couple of hours, 1 hour to be exact. And I'm realizing I don't have a Santa hat. So I decided to make one out of towels, naturally, as I am the towel girl. I have this scrap fabric today. I made some pieces from it already, and it's a kind of reddish pink pineapple towel. So I figured that would make a cute Santa hat. And then I was looking up what Santa hat patterns look like online, and you're just making a cone. So to get the sizing right for my head, I figured I make bucket hats, and this is the pattern that I use for around my head. So I figured I just am going to use this and shoot it up into a full triangle. That way I don't have to figure out like the curvature of the bottom or anything. So yeah, we'll see how it goes.
I decided to make the hat out of two panels, a front panel and a back panel. So my bucket hat pattern covers just 1/4 the circumference of my head. So I used two next to each other, and I just am using the bucket hat pattern mainly to get that bottom arch of the cone, the correct angle. I don't think it really matters that much. I probably honestly could have done a straight across bottom hem and it probably would have been fine, but whatever. Since I had the pattern, I used it. And then I just extended up the sides, and I decided to make it as symmetrical as possible. I should fold it over and just cut along the same angle for the other side. Then once I cut out the one panel of the hat, I needed to cut out a copy of it for the back panel of the hat. So I just laid it on the towel and cut out the same thing.
Apparently I forgot to press record while I was serging, but I just serged down both sides. So far, so good. Now I just need to add a headband and, of course, a little ball at the end. Oh my gosh. It's inside out right now, but it's gonna be so cute. I'm trying to decide between, let's get that out of the way, this pineapple border was on the bottom of the towel. That could be fun. Or just a more traditional white. Okay, I think I'm actually liking the traditional more, and I'm liking it a lot more because it's already hemmed and time is of the essence. I'm getting towel crumbs in my hair. Okay, so with the right side out of the towel, I want this to also be right side out, which means I must connect them like this. That way, the seam will be on the inside of the hat. Cool. I'm going to start with the end of the towel at one of the side seams, so that close to the end of the towel being at one of the side seams, so that when I get around to the other end, I'll have room to connect the two and the seams will line up.
Once I sewed the white brim almost all the way around the hat, I was able to see where I wanted to line up the sides. And then I could have just trimmed it with my scissors, but I figured while I was at the serger, why not just trim it with the serger knife? So then I just serged it up along to make a side seam where it'll match the side seam of the hat cone part. And once I sewed the side seam on, I did still have a little bit of a gap. So I just closed that off as well with the serger still. And then I had the brim fully connected to the hat.
I left my towel tag on because it's kind of fun. Let's see how this looks. Looking like a Santa hat to me. Now just the final ball at the end. I'm gonna use more of that white fabric and stuff it with some fabric scraps.
To make the snowball, I searched the house for a decently sized circular object. The winner was this Tupperware bowl, and I cut out a circle. This circle was probably about 5 to 6 inches in diameter, and I figured it would make a good sized snowball. So I serged around the edges, and then I shredded some of my leftover scraps for the filling of the ball. The trick here was to not shred them too tiny, because the chunkier they are, the easier it is for them to stay in the snowball. Then it was time to make the circle into a sphere, so I started stitching around the edges in a gathering stitch. I did double layer the thread here to make it stronger, because I knew I was going to be doing lots of pulling as I got closer to the end of this project. Once it made a little bowl, I filled it up with all of the chunky scraps, and I did cut out one kind of larger square scrap to top at the top to kind of cap it all in. And then I just pulled the gathering stitches tight and started stitching back and forth across the opening. I was pulling a lot and surprised that the thread didn't break until it did break. So then I quadruple layered my thread on the needle and was able to finish the job. Then I just attached the snowball to the end of the hat.
It is finished. It turned out so cute and comfy and Christmassy. And I finished right on time, so I have to go. This Christmas party is with some of my closest friends, and it is a bake-off. We all made a treat, and we're distributing it to other friends and family and making them judge the top 3. So I'm hoping that I place on the podium this year. Last year I was 3rd place. This year I made like shortbread, caramel, chocolate bars, grandma's recipe. So let's hope that gets me up to the top, and we're doing a white elephant. So that's always exciting. And yeah. Good night.